Right, on your left, we have sophomore Harrison Ingram. On your right, we have senior Spencer Jones. Open it up for questions.
All right. You guys trailed 3-0, but led the rest of the way. And what was the formula today?
It was the same formula as last game. It was coming out and hitting first. I mean, you saw, we came out with fire and a little bit of vengeance. Maxime, after that and one dunk, I remember his celebration that kind of lifted our spirits and got us going. And it was just all about the defensive end. We were reading 1 through 5, so it was all about everybody being able to battle with the big men down low. So.
Yeah, just really staying together. I mean, we've had no disguise. We've had a tough start to the season. We've lost some games, lost some close games, some tough games. I mean, just kind of staying together, encouraging each other, and not really worried about ourselves.
Harrison, let's talk about the 3-ball that was falling for you tonight. Just what got you in that rhythm tonight?
I think this is confidence from my teammates. I mean, I've been struggling a little bit this season. They tell me to keep shooting, stay aggressive, and knowing they got my back, knowing the coaches trust me. I mean, I let it go.
All right, here's another all-around game, double figures this time. How would you surmise your season so far? There was a lot of expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got to the point where you wanted to be at this point in your second year?
I mean, we're winning now, so I mean, it's all it's about to me. It's about winning. I kind of tough start to the season. We were losing. I wasn't really playing well. Kind of felt a lot of pressure on myself. And kind of took a step back and realized, I mean, it's just basketball. It's a game I've been playing my whole life, and just stay confident and stay in my game.
And you as the senior, what do you say to him?
To him, I mean, I've been through that. Having a great, coming off good seasons, and then feeling the expectations. It's just you just take it game by game. Once the game's over, you got to forget about it. Work on what you need to work on to get to the next one.
Just talk about what was, as far as for you, Spencer, just talk about what's the key to making those jump hooks. Those are really fun, particularly tonight, over larger guys. Just talk about what was working for you in that department. Just how challenging those shots are for you.
For me, it's just being aggressive, using my strength. I mean, guys who usually have a little bit of inches on me aren't usually stronger, have a stronger base than I do. So it's just, keeping that strong base, using my shoulder to, keep a distance from them so that long arms can't block it. That's pretty much it.
All right, Harrison, the ultimate question for you. Your hometown Cowboys are here tomorrow. What do you expect to happen, and what's the deal being in the Bay Area, but your hometown team is here?
I mean, I feel like that's a rhetorical question, but I mean, it's a dub. We're the best team in the NFL. Best quarterback, best team, best coach, best defense. We're America's team. Go Cowboys.
Yeah, just because we're talking football, if there's any position you guys could play in football, what would it be? Would you most like to play?
Is that a question? Which one do I think I'd be best at? Which one would I want to play?
Either one. Which one? Yeah, both.
I mean, I think the sexiest position is quarterback. I mean, you touch the ball every possession. Everyone knows your face. But I personally think it would be fun to just be a wide receiver and score a bunch of touchdowns.
I'll probably go D end, low key. Use the long arms, keep the offensive line at reach, and then use a little swim move, get to the quarterback.
All right. Okay. So back to basketball now. I know we tried to. 2 wins against the state of Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are back in the mix now in the conference. How much better does it feel right now?
It feels great. I mean, especially for the young guys, the momentum really, really helps them. I mean, as the older guys, you try to keep everybody steady. So, whether you're winning or losing, you kind of keep the same mindset. But for the younger guys, they really feed off, momentum and energy. So, I look forward to them, playing these next few games.
Right. Copy what he said. I mean, it feels amazing. But one thing Coach Hass has done well, whether we are losing or winning, up and down, when we work. In practice, it's work every day. We're going at it, switching up teams, playing 5-on-5, 4-on-4, 1-on-1 every single practice. So for us, it's just another day of work on Monday.
What was the key to maintaining the lead? You guys got up by 10, and at the end, they chipped away at the very, very end. You guys kept that double-digit lead long enough that they weren't able to make a last-minute comeback. But what was the key in keeping that focus?
It was the defense, keeping it out of the paint, really making them shoot, threes. Like if they were going to come in back in the game, they were going to have to come back shooting, contested threes over our hands rather than throwing it down at the bigs, which they usually like to do.
And the opposite end is playing together, sharing the ball. I mean, they play like a little matchup zone, kind of the big kind of stays in the paint, so we're running a bunch of little decoy actions, cutting the big man. We had big men that could shoot this game, cutting the big man, cutting the wing, and just playing together.
All right, so my last question. What is your interaction with the women's team? I mean, they had a tough loss, and then, of course, they saw you guys were struggling a bit. What is the relationship between you two?
It's great. It's great. We have a good relationship with the women's team. You know, they support us. Come to a lot of our games. You know, we have a few guys that come to theirs, and you know, it's all love between us. I mean, it's no hate at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just good friends. We see each other, locker room right next to each other. We see them every day at practice, and we support each other.
You know, Oregon came in as kind of a sort of schizophrenic, up and down kind of team.
Yeah.
Where as soon as they come out and they blow people out, other night they have kind of off nights. Was that something you guys talked about at all? And maybe, hey, if we can get up by a bit, we can put these guys away. Was that mercurial nature than something you guys discussed coming into the game?
It was part of our mantra of hitting first. You know, not taking punches, coming out. And we knew if we came out and we hit them hard like we did, you know, that would set the tone pretty much for the rest of the game, and it did. So.
Right. They kind of talked about how they had a few injuries. I think like Cuisinart and Dante or someone was injured like the first beginning of the season, and Bartholomew. Just knowing that they have a bunch of transfers and that at the beginning of the season they might play bad, but they're a very talented team and don't take them lightly.
All right, you guys have another non-conference game coming up with Chicago State. So 2 games against the city of Chicago. Kind of weird. You guys are going back and forth with conference play. You started off 2 conference games, non-conference. Now you're back in the midst of conference play, but you're going to have a non-conference game. Is that kind of a weird scenario?
It is a little weird. You know, right now my mind's all about, you know, conference, you know, what our schedule is. But, you know, you take every game as is, and you got to get ready for it the same way. So.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's just get another game to me. I mean, I don't really care who we play. I'm trying to win.
My final question for you guys is just on floor burns. Going to the game for 1 and 4 burns at 28. I think you were 3rd with 23rd, and I think you were tied with Keith, I think.
Okay.
28. How cognizant are you guys of that stat and after each game, or just how much is that talked about?
I personally don't really. I kind of forget about that stat. I just try to hustle. If I see the ball on the floor, I'm trying to dive on it, trying to be the first one on the ground.
It's something that definitely shows up in the film the next day. Anybody who's on the floor, it's always going to show up. So that's kind of the only time you're really cognizant about it. You're like, all right, if it's celebrated like this, you know, why not? You know, everybody wants to get a good play on film the next day in front of their teammates. So it's a good thing.
It's the best way to make up for a mistake. Like I turn the ball over, just go dive for the next ball, and they'll be okay with it.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate y'all.
Right around 5 or 6. actually does help out a stat sheet when you're asking the questions.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of look at stuff.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm kind of like, it changes. At least it changes the questions you ask.
Coach Jared Haas. Coach, you begin with a statement.
Yeah, number one is I'm excited for our guys. We've had some tough times, and to have a couple games here at home and have a homestand and get 2 wins is a big deal for us. I thought our guys played loose and confident, extremely steady, even when things were going well. We weren't didn't change our demeanor too much and did it in just the right way. I thought when any run was made back at us, we maintained a good demeanor. I thought defensively, our guys executed the game plan really well. I think most of the shots were challenged. For the most part, we fought on the boards. Thought we could have done that just a bit better. And then offensively, I love the idea of sharing the basketball, moving it to the open guy, and then the guys who are shooting the basketball were doing it with a great deal of confidence.
All right, Coach. They had a 3-0 lead, and then you guys were in control most of it. But there was a couple moments where they got it within one a couple times, but didn't get over the hump. In the second half, you guys got the 8-0 run and opened it up and pretty much sustained that. Just overall, what is your feeling about the perseverance that you guys had to hold on to it, and then just a great weekend, 2-0 against the state of Oregon, and get over the hump of no wins in conference play?
Yeah, I think I continue to draw references to the season right now because we've had our challenges in the season, and our guys keep getting knocked down and keep standing up. And so when you get smaller instances of that, of another team coming back at you or making a shot or playing well, our guys are just used to standing back up. I think they kind of see it as we don't have an option of sitting down and laying down ever. And for that, I'm very proud because that's a message I've delivered, and they've really taken to heart. But I think steady as it goes was kind of the idea, and our guys kept fighting anytime there was any adversity.
Talk about the effort you guys did on the perimeter defensive side. You held them to, they made 10 threes, but they jacked up 30. And Kuzinar was coming in shooting like over 50%, and he was 2 of 99. Just what went well for you guys in that department, do you think?
Yeah, it's challenging. They do have really good players, really quick players, and I think the 3-point shooting isn't just a standalone idea. Because most of the time it comes off of somebody penetrates or they throw it in the post and the ball gets swung out, and you can't just go jump out of control because they're so quick they can go by you. So to be able to defend the 3-point line, I think it takes for our team a great deal of coachability, that we understand who we're closing out to, how we're going to close out, what's the distance, and because we would put a great premium on trying to keep the ball out of the paint. And so to do that and then contest threes, is a real challenge because we're not necessarily the quickest team in the world. But I was really pleased with the guys in terms of executing the scouting report, taking away threes, but doing so in a way that didn't jeopardize having the guys go by us.
All right, another great game across the board for Harrison. 11 points, rebounds, assists, and got a couple steals. So when you see him play like that all across the board, how does it feel for you?
Well, I think it's that's who Harrison is. He's always been a winner. He's been a tough competitor, and I think the world, right, whether it's media, whether it's coaches, whether it's fans, whether it's players, everybody tends to look at points and say that's how a person played. And anytime anybody does that with Harrison, I think we're making a mistake because the things he does best are probably not scoring the basketball, and he's a very competent scorer, but he makes people better. He has great size, can rebound the basketball. His instincts are really good on both ends of the floor. So for him, I think it's always important for us, for me anyway, to evaluate him holistically because I think that's how he impacts the game.
I asked the players this question. Oregon coming in to be very up and down, kind of schizophrenic team where they blow people up one night and they get blown out the next. They were mercurial team that way. Was that something you guys? Was that something you guys did talk about, and just how did that kind of factor into your game plan when you approach it, just given their kind of DNA and nature?
Yeah, I would just simply say we're aware of their history this year and what they've done. I would not say it factored into game planning at all. It's not something we brought up with the team. We talked about their recent history of a couple big time wins they've just had, and but that was not something we addressed with the team.
All right, Coach. It's a big game tomorrow, not including Stanford women against Colorado, but it's a big football game tomorrow. And Harrison Barnes is already saying, Harrison Ingram is already saying that it's a done deal. It's Cowboys. So, do you agree with him or you Niners?
Yeah, Harris and I like in a lot of different ways. He and Ryan Agarwal, shoot, my best friend, they're all big Cowboys fans. But no, I was born in a household as a 49ers household, and so I think they're mistaken on that one. And the head coach is usually right in these situations.
Talk about the upcoming matchup with Chicago State and just kind of the thought process behind scheduling an out-of-conference game that week. Obviously, Cal follows, but
yeah.
Do you think it's going to help you guys to have 2 games next week instead of having a week layoff between?
Yeah, great question. The answer is I hope so. I think the reason is maybe a more important topic. I think it can be a good game for us to get a full complement of games in. Scheduling is challenging anywhere. At Stanford, though, I think we're one of the few schools, or maybe the only school, that has a full 2 weeks break during finals, and because of that, you end up really having to squish games in at times to be able to play the full complement of games. And so, rather than play a one less game, we thought it'd be good to play an extra game this week to be able to. Try and build as a team, grow as a team, as opposed to taking a whole week off. And so I think there's situations where you learn and practice, grow and practice. I think every game, though, is also a situation like that. So I'm hoping it's a positive, but that's the reason why, is that I'm not afraid to schedule the game this week and, schedule-wise to be able to play the full complement of games. This was the easiest way to do it.
So, Coach, is it kind of weird in a sense that you got 2 non-conference games against teams from Chicago?
I suppose. There's a lot of quirky things to scheduling all the time, but hopefully it turns out good for us.
I know Garwell didn't play. Murrow was back. Was Garwell not feeling well, or was that
just a coach's decision. He's doing great. He's back healthy, and we wouldn't be surprised to see him back out there playing big minutes. But that was just coach's decision tonight.
Are you guys trying to tighten the rotation? I know there's 8 guys tonight. Is that something you're trying to do at this point? Is maybe hone it and tighten the rotation, or is that just how the game flows tonight?
I would say that's on our radar of trying to get. I've used the phrase "put the pieces together," and how do the pieces fit together, and giving guys enough minutes where they're confident and out there getting in a groove out there, but also not playing them so much that they get tired, and kind of what is the sweet spot there. And I think that's what we're trying to figure out and get to.
I know this is down the line, but with the 2 wins now of conference play, are you looking more at the regular season conference scenario, or are you really trying to prepare yourself for a conference tournament where it can really catapult you?
I'm looking for next practice and then next game. I really am. The team has been focused the entire year on the idea of maximizing our potential, and so to do that, we really do have to keep a short mindset and really focus on the next practice, and then leading up to the next game. The rest of it tends to work itself out.
Yeah, just kind of my last question. Yesterday Haley Jones talked about wearing humans over athlete shirts, but prioritizing the importance of reminding the athlete humans first. Just kind of your thoughts on what she did, if you heard about it, and just kind of thoughts on kind of the messaging that she and the women's basketball team were trying to give yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful message. It really is, and I think at Stanford, and I can speak on behalf of my team, the idea that we have an unbelievable group of guys that are not only complete players but complete people, that have a lot of dreams and goals, a lot of passion for what they do. And it's one reason I wanted to be at Stanford and want to be at Stanford is the idea that you're not just coaching athletes, you're coaching great students, you're coaching great people that are going to do great things, and the athletic piece is simply a part of it. So I certainly agree with the sentiment, and from the men's basketball side, I think I can speak wholeheartedly saying it's a strong message and an appropriate message.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.